For more videos on people's struggles, please subscribe to our YouTube channel.
The speed at which the Taliban has taken over entire Afghanistan and the fall of the Ghani government has, I think, taken everybody by surprise, particularly the Western powers, including, of course, the United States and UK. I think what has surprised everybody is the fact that the Afghanistan defense forces, as they are called, but essentially of the Kabul government, seems to have surrendered very tamely to Taliban. The question is, how did it happen that the government forces, which were capable, according to the United States, for fighting for 2 to 3 years, did not last days as the Taliban offensive grew? And the answer is that it seems that the answer is the fact that the Afghanistan Ghani government was corrupt, was seen by its own officers and service people who are fighting as some people who could not be trusted, and therefore they were unwilling to lay down their lives for this government, which they conceived as not really theirs. Also, it is very clear that the Afghan services people, the police, the military, in large parts were also not getting their salaries. They have been complaining about it. They have been fighting without money, without resources. I think only the special forces that the Americans were very close to had access to resources, but others didn't. And therefore they were being allowed to fend for themselves without any support from the Kabul government. They also seem to have thought that this is a government which is on the verge of surrendering, running away, and it has been proved right, because first we had the finance minister running away, then we now had the former president Ghani also running away. All of this seems to indicate that the processes which were going on in Afghanistan were not understood by the outside powers, particularly the Western powers, United States as well as India. What's going to unfold there? Is Taliban going to behave differently than Taliban earlier? I think they are at the moment trying to build the bridges with Iran as well as Russia and China. Also with the neighboring countries like Uzbekistan, Tajikistan. But internally, I do not expect them to change their spot. So they're going to be regressive. They are going to certainly be very anti-women. And all the things we have seen earlier may not be so brutally visible, but I think the underlying reality would then be the establishment of a Taliban regime, minus some of the open, egregious violations of human rights that they were doing. Lastly, I must confess, I find it very hypocritical to speak of Western powers talking about Afghan women, because this is exactly what they forestalled when you had the progressive government in Kabul, 70s, 80s and early 90s, which were trying to do a lot of the things they claimed to have done, and they backed the most regressive forces in Afghanistan to try and sabotage that government, also give what they thought was a resounding answer to their Vietnam defeat by handing Soviet Union a defeat in Afghanistan. The forever wars is not a solution that's going to take the United States and the Western powers anywhere. And it's only going to destroy countries as it has done, whether it is Iraq, whether it's Libya, whether it is Syria, and whether it is Afghanistan.